Yes, guys, welcome back to the Talking Rangers YouTube channel for another match review. This time, I can actually say another video because I did another video the other day. Yes, we're back again. I'm sure you're not used to seeing me on your screens for 2 times in a week. Hopefully, we can make this a regular tradition. I said another video, but sadly, the R's couldn't put together another win. QPR come away from Loftus Road with a point. Was it 2 points dropped? Was it 1 point gained? No further ado, let's get into the video. So let's start it off with the team lineup. Now, a lot can be said about changing a winning side. You know, the balance of it, you kind of lose maybe a bit of momentum. But there was only just one change today, and that was Tim. Remember, I'm only calling him Tim. Came out of the starting 11 and was replaced by Andre Dizelle. Dizelle started the game prior to the Millwall game, and he returned today against Stoke. Again, we don't really know the reason behind that. Maybe Tim, it's the first probably... Did he play 90? I don't think he played 90 against Millwall. I think he played probably about 75, 80. Maybe that's the first time he's had those minutes at that tempo and at this level, so maybe took a bit out of him, needed a bit more time to recover. Or maybe Beale favoured Andre Dizelle. That was the only change in the game. I don't think it had a large impact in the way things went. I think Dizelle played quite well. I'd just say he played average. Didn't set the world light. Didn't put really too much wrong. But let's move away from the lineup change. I don't really think that was a big significant driver in determining today's result. I think from the get-go, we gave Stoke a little bit too much respect. Too much time on the ball, too much space. And I don't really think Stoke are that imposing. Yes, they've got Flynn, he's 6'5". They've got some big boys in their side. But I think Stoke surprised me a little bit. Their results have been fairly similar to us so far. I think maybe a draw or a win less than we have up to this point. But they had a couple of nice passages of play in the first half. I think we gave them a little bit too much room outside our 18-yard box, and sometimes a little bit slow to react in certain instances. And it kind of meant that first 20 minutes we were really slow getting out of the traps. I think the first half in total, I think Stoke were the better side, but then we kind of were better in the second half. But I think especially that first 20 minutes, I think Stoke were bringing the game to us, which maybe caught me off guard a little bit. And I think maybe something that kind of symbolises this a little bit in terms of, look, our 2 figureheads, our 2 outlets, our 2 go-to players are Willock and Chair. I think it's maybe the first time in a very long time I've not seen Chair and Willock sort of on the same wavelength. Maybe not so much their communication in essence, but more they're always running off each other. They're interlinking cute little passes between the 2, overlapping, switching sides amongst the pair. And they just didn't really feel that or see that through their product on the pitch. And I think sometimes they're slow at giving the ball to each other, holding on for it for too long. And when Chair and Willock aren't playing well, as a team, we really, really suffer. And I think that kind of, I think they're almost the 2 focal points on the side. Everything goes through Chair and Willock. We don't really score a goal unless Chair and Willock are involved, let's be honest. And, if one of them goes out the side or the pair of them, our creativity walks out the door with them. So we know how big they are to us. And I think, not that they played badly. I don't think we played poorly in the first half. It was almost just a little bit under par from maybe what we'd seen in the second half of the Millwall game. And I think, again, embodied by giving Stoke probably too much respect and too much time and space on the ball. Again, it comes back to this debate of Roberts as a number 9. Beale kept Roberts in, leading the side. No, so Roberts kept Beale in, leading the side? Oh, my word. You can tell I haven't done this in a while. Beale kept Roberts in, leading the line as a number 9. Got there in the end. I think it's more suited at home. I think you can get away with playing Roberts as a 9 more at home than you can away. Especially when, you're away from home, the home side wants to impose himself. They're more than likely in certain more instances than not to have more possession. And yes, you may get less time on the ball and you need to hit it up to a focal point. And I think that's what we really missed in the first half at Millwall. I think Dykes would have been a good addition to that side. At home, we're going to want to impose ourselves and have more time on the ball. You're going to get Chair and Willock probably more possession at home than you would away. And I think Roberts is that type of player that he can bring himself into that domain with Chair and Willock. He's almost got that style of play in a way in terms of his physical attributes and his intricacy and his technical ability. Maybe Dykes doesn't have it, and maybe his pace, his dribbling skills. But as soon as Lyndon Dykes came on that pitch, things just changed. Dieng had a target to hit the ball up to. Again, just like the Mill game when he came on. He chased. I know he's got fresher legs. He came off the bench. But he was winning balls in the air. Even off Flint, who's 6'5" and just... I'm going to refrain from saying what I want to say about that man. So for me, I think Dykes has got to start the next game. I don't know if Roberts was maybe a bit fatigued from Millwall. I think lazy's a bit harsh. I think at points maybe he's just not got that stamina. He's not got that match. He's just not got that match fitness yet. I think he's coming back from a big injury last year. I think he's going to need time. But bring him off the bench, then I don't really think at the moment he's in the right position in terms of his fitness state and his performance state. I don't feel like that warrants starting the game from the get-go, because I think Lyndon Dykes is getting quite hungry. He's really imposed himself when he comes on. He was really good at holding the ball up. He was spreading it wide, a few little cute flicks. And I think he just gets, players are drawn to Lyndon Dykes. Because when the ball comes to Roberts in the air, centre-halves barely mark him because they watch the ball. Roberts doesn't even compete for the ball. He doesn't even occupy a defender. Lyndon Dykes can occupy 2 or 3 defenders at the same time. His runs are really intelligent. And I think, again, yes, he's not a goal scorer. We could maybe see that at some point once he gets his confidence back a little bit. But again, it comes back to this debate of Dykes. And I talked about it last time. And I just think, I'll reiterate my point. We just need to understand his skill set. And I think we're expecting something that isn't Lyndon Dykes. That's enough about Dykes. I just think next time, Lyndon Dykes should start the match. Whether at home or away. I know I talked about it being different, but nevertheless, I'm just saying I think Lyndon Dykes needs to start the next match. What next? Coming into the second half, we did have a couple of chances. Just before I move on to the second half, a couple of chances in the first half. Nothing clear cut. I think Johansson had a shot that was pushed round for a corner. There was nothing in it. The goalie just merely pulled off that for the cameras. It didn't require the extravagant save. Nothing really stands out to me as a good chance in the first half. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't anything of too much harm for their keeper. They even did have the goal disallowed, actually, skipping over that in the first couple of minutes for offside. So yeah, I think I'm not worried. I was a little bit. That's exactly it. I was just like, that first half just wasn't quite up to standard, in my opinion, for how we should be performing at home and how we got this platform, as I talked about, from Millwall in the week. So going into the second half, again, I think this lack of almost cutting edge in the second half was disappointing. I think in certain instances we did get into good areas. Willock and Chair were really working hard down the left-hand side. And I think one thing where we struggled was getting the fullbacks into the game. And I think you can see the impact. At Millwall, they were given so much space and we really utilised them down both flanks in an attacking element. I think Stoke did really well to nullify the threat of the fullbacks, almost pinning them back. And then that way you didn't really have any overlapping runs. It was easier for their fullbacks to mark Chair and Willock. Not that they did it to an excelled degree. But I think the way that they did so nullified that almost other element of attack that we can overlap in wide areas. We saw it more as the second half grew on. I think with QPR a bit more bodies on, and he took off Johansson, who seemed to have a bit of a knock. He put Tim on, and he took off Dazelle to bring on Dykes, again, which I mentioned a little bit earlier on. But yeah, I think Dykes kind of changed the game a little bit for us today, and I don't think anybody can really disagree with that. So it was one of those, it's disappointing. We grew into it in the second half. We got a couple of... We got a couple of... Liasche had a fantastic chance. Oh, my word. A brilliant ball from Kenneth Powell. He's hit it with his left foot. A curling ball. Perfectly weighted and placed. Chair's running through. He's almost got a free header. He's probably about 8 yards out. And he just doesn't get the contact on it. And it just drifts past the post. And I think when we saw that one go wide, I think we knew, I don't think today is our day. That was really disappointing because I think that was probably our best chance of the game. Willock had a couple of chances. Balls would bobble around on the edge of the 18-yard box, but Stoke were very solid. They were a good, solid defensive unit. And I think that's, you could say maybe we didn't perform as we'd have liked to done in terms of an attacking output, but I think Stoke did well at nullifying everything that we threw at them. And they were a good side, actually. I think they surprised me a little bit, as I mentioned towards the start. It's difficult. I think second half, another day, we'd have got a goal. And I think that would have been enough to see Stoke off. But we just didn't manage to do it. And sometimes that's football. I don't want to get too hung up about this because I think if you take this week of football, beating Millwall away, and I know at home you want to be winning. And I think we had the opportunity to win today. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. And I think at a point now, we're sat in 6th. That's pretty solid. I mean, were you expecting that? With a new manager that's only managed now, 10 games in his career. We've had a few injuries here and there. We've still got players to come back. And don't forget this bit. That's back-to-back clean sheets. I think that's really significant. And that's something that we should really be praising. And I think a really important element of those back-to-back clean sheets is Balogun. Fantastic again today. He's like such a reliable centre-half. He doesn't try and do something he's not. He knows his skill set. You can see he's extremely experienced. And he knows almost the demands of playing at this level. He reads play. His movement's fantastic. And I think him and Dunn have got quite a nice little partnership going at the moment. And they've given some good protection for Dieng. I don't think he had an awful lot to do. Actually, saying that, I'll come on to my next point in just a second. But they had a good chance towards the end of the half, coming from the left side, and I don't know who it was for Stoke, but he hit it just past the right side of the post. I thought that was in that moment when we were pushing so hard for so long to try and get a goal, and they just get on the other end and score. Almost like Naki Wells-esque against Bristol City, was it last season? But hold on. Sadly, I can't skip over this. And I think maybe this is why I'm feeling a little bit better about the game than I thought I would. Hold on a minute. I haven't watched it back. I've seen it from the complete other end. But from what I saw about that supposed tackle from Kenneth Powell in the last couple of minutes, that looked like a blatant penalty. Oh, God. Again, if I can find the clip, I'll try and overlay it. So if you're watching this now and I'm completely wrong, then let me know in the comments. But from what I remembered and what I saw, he just gone into the back of him, not got any contact on the ball, and just stopped him from playing football, in simple terms. So for me, they should have had a penalty in the last couple of minutes, and then we would be coming away with a much dweller mood than we are now. But, we take a little step back a minute, and we're 6th in the league, back-to-back clean sheets this week, 4 points from 2 games. Going into the international break, you've got more players to come back after the 2 weeks. You've got Salter, who else we got? Amos is coming back. Richards ain't ready at the moment. Maybe Dickey will be back. So you got players there. Sinclair scored a hat-trick on Friday night. There's players there. I think it will take time. Well, you'll have games when you don't deserve it and you nick a lucky goal. Today, I think we played well in the second half in elements, not so much in others. We probably deserved the goal for the second half performance, but then not for the first half performance. And I think when you look at it realistically, when you don't listen to your heart and you listen to your head, 0-0 was a fair result. So I'll take it. 4 points from 2 games, as I mentioned. 6th in the league. Going into the international break. More players coming back. Positivity around the club right now. So enjoy it. Cherish it. Enjoy it. And I think it's good attendance today. That's the most I've seen stadium full in a while. So, the football's enjoyable. unlucky. I think unlucky in the second half not to get a goal, but that is football. So thanks for tuning in again. Who doesn't love a 16-minute ramble? That's my thoughts from today's... Okay, I'm going to try to give you a verdict. Is it 2 points dropped or is it 1 point gained? Depends on what you look at it. From the first half and the second half exclusively, I'd probably say a point gained. But from the second half, probably the chances we had... Oh no, but 2 points dropped sounds harsh. You know what? I'm not going to give you a verdict. Let me know down below in the comments whether you think 2 points dropped, 1 point gained. Thank you very much for tuning in. I may even have another video for this week. Keep an eye out for that. May even a live stream. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and I'll see you soon. Come on, you are.